This update is nuts, guys. My gosh, if this is all true, which I suspect it is, Blake Lively, you're awful.
Unless she backed up Blake's claims of SH, then they would release personal text messages about Taylor Swift to the public.
In this insane drama that is getting worse by the hour.
Guys, do you get how big this is and how much this is exploding?
Blake Lively faced a brutal takedown by someone she once called her closest friend in court. But to be honest, can you really fault Taylor for her actions?
If Miss Swift failed to do so, Miss Lively would release 10 years of private texts with Miss Swift.
Blake didn't hold back. She blackmailed Taylor using their private texts. Honestly, it's hard to think of anything lower than that kind of betrayal.
Blake Lively's lawyer allegedly threatened Taylor Swift and extorted her to release a public statement in support of Blake, or text messages would be released.
The accusations are intense. Blake's legal team allegedly pressured Taylor to support her Super Bowl absence or risk having 10 years of texts exposed. That's not just scandal, it's blackmail, pure and simple. No wonder this has exploded into a court battle, catching everyone's attention.
She threatened to publicly release 10 years of text messages. Can you imagine all the texts back and forth about Taylor Swift's exes?
Imagine 10 years of private conversations, personal chats, gossip, secret plans, all under threat of exposure. Forcing Taylor to act or else? That's crossing a major line. So far, it feels unreal.
The original letter that was sent by Brian Freeman. Well,
what makes this even more shocking is how deep the legal situation goes. Brian Freeman isn't just making noise. He's risking his entire career with legal statements that come with real consequences. This isn't just gossip. This is serious. Legal warfare. The subpoena to Taylor's legal team proves the court is digging in, forcing the truth into daylight whether Blake's side wants it or not.
And it turns out that this dates back to actually February earlier this year, when he received a phone call from someone who wanted to tell him something.
The sworn affidavit describes a phone call on February 14th, 2025, Valentine's Day, where Blake's lawyer Michael Gattel allegedly demanded Taylor support Blake publicly. When Taylor refused, Blake threatened to leak their texts.
To accuse Taylor of Blake of asking Taylor to delete text messages.
And to make things worse, Blake had reportedly asked Taylor to delete all their messages months earlier. So this wasn't some emotional outburst, it was a calculated move. Asking someone to delete messages? That's classic evidence tampering, something the courts take very seriously.
Mr. Baldridge had accused Mr. Gottlieb of extortion and ended the call. If this is what happened, this is extortion, and I believe this happened without a doubt. I'm taking this as fact.
This wasn't just a loud disagreement. It's a giant red flag in legal terms. When Taylor's attorney ended the call and accused Blake's team of extortion, things got serious. These are potential crimes. Witness tampering, intimidation, stuff that leads to fines or criminal charges. This is more than a celebrity feud. It's legal warfare that could shake Hollywood.
Today, Brian Freeman sent an affidavit to the judge, meaning that someone has sworn to him that the information they gave him about Taylor Swift is true.
What makes this case explode even more is Brian Freeman didn't just whisper the accusations. He put everything on record in court, every detail written out in a sworn affidavit.
In this statement to the judge, he says, I received a voicemail on February 14, 2025 from a person very closely linked to Taylor Swift, whom I subsequently called back the same day.
And the source giving Freeman the information? It's someone very close to Taylor Swift, an insider who's been cooperating with the legal team from the start. This isn't a random rumor. It's credible and central to the entire case.
My office issued a subpoena to Venable LLP for the purpose of seeking aforementioned written communication.
Because of this, a subpoena was issued to Venable LLP, Taylor's legal firm, demanding they provide all related written communications. Clearly, the legal system is digging deep, and the pressure is rising fast.
Brian Freeman responded to this. This was a letter where they, it should be noted this was anonymously sourced and they're just abusing us again and this is categorically false, blah, 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 blah.
Blake's camp didn't stay silent. They quickly denied everything and tried to get Freeman's affidavit thrown out, calling it false and an abuse of the court process.
Well, it's not signed by Gottlieb. It's not signed, I swear by, this is false. It was signed by Ezra Hudson, a different lawyer, not from that firm, which was odd to me. It was a big red flag.
Taylor Swift has remained silent, and that's saying a lot. Her team usually shuts down any rumors fast. But this time, not a word. That kind of silence makes people wonder if there's some truth to the accusations. With no public denial, it's hard not to think something serious is going on.
Taylor Swift, one of the most litigious people in the world, is not coming forward to deny any of this. Typically, when her friends, women under fire, are put in the spotlight like this, she is very quick to go after and declare and have her team shut up everybody.
This entire drama blew up fast. Judge Louis J. Lyman removed Freeman's letter from the record, saying his court couldn't handle the subpoena matter. He also warned that such explosive claims could turn the trial into chaos. But just because it's out of the record doesn't mean this fight is over.
Is the fact that Judge Lehman actually did toss out the letter.
Blake Lively's reputation took a massive hit. From Hollywood's sweetheart to someone accused of blackmailing Taylor Swift. Even her celebrity friends like Salma Hayek and Chris Pratt now face skepticism. Their support suddenly feels awkward, and the bond of real friendship seems shattered.
Now we know what she did to Taylor Swift, especially all these feminists supporting other women, and we know that she blackmailed her friend and pressured her to destroy evidence.
One of the loudest silences comes from Hollywood itself and the Me Too movement. Usually, serious allegations from a woman bring loud support, but when Blake plays the victim, the response is nothing. It forces a hard question. Who does Hollywood really support when things get messy?
The media tried to paint us who were defending Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Wayfair, and all of them as misogynistic and we just don't want to believe women. Where are all the Me Too people? Where are all the celebrity A-listers that should have her back?
Blake Lively's team didn't just sit back. They responded, but in ways that raised even more red flags. Rather than having Michael Gatla, the lawyer accused, speak up, someone else took charge. That's a sign they're hiding something, or at least trying to keep their distance.
The motion to strike opposing his subpoena to Venable.
This wasn't just a denial. Blake's team claimed Freeman's affidavit was baseless, fake, and abusing court resources. They went further, accusing him of pushing conspiracy theories and using media to harm Blake. Classic move. Attack the why. Accuser, not the accusation. And when you go after the messenger that hard, it usually means you're hiding something big.
And most notably, the motion claims that the facts set forth in the 14th letter are unequivocally and demonstrably false, yet is unsupported by any sworn declaration to that effect, much less for Mr. Goat.
Each side is battling for narrative control. Blake's team wants Freeman's claims silenced, while Freeman is fighting to get the truth heard. If Blake really had nothing to hide, why not just present a strong defense? All these attempts to shut it down make it look like she's scared of what might come out.
Both of these parties, it's not just Justin's side, Blake's side is doing it too. They are both playing this in the press. And when Blake's team tries to play like, oh, we're better, we're not doing this, we're not making this a circus, yeah, come on.
Now here's the real kicker. Taylor Swift's team is completely eerily silent. Normally they respond fast to rumors or media attacks. This time, nothing.
Interesting here that Taylor Swift has not come out publicly through some of her spokespeople to deny these things or these claims if they weren't true. She would jump on this instantly and say this isn't true.
Blake and Taylor's friendship? It's done. No texts, no public meetups. Now they only speak through their lawyers. That's more than a falling out. It's a complete collapse. When friendships are reduced to legal documents, there's no going back.
True. Where is Tree Payne? Tree Payne wouldn't let this just be out here if it was a lie, if it was false.
Taylor's silence and the obvious gap between the two only add fuel to the fire burning Blake's reputation. When the accused stays quiet, public opinion usually turns against them. Taylor might be quiet for strategy, but it leaves Blake looking worse with every passing day. What started private has become an ugly public scandal.
There's been a lot of speculation about Taylor Swift, her involvement. She keeps making these denials. And a lot of us have been very critical of Taylor because, what's going on?
Meanwhile, Blake's team is fighting hard to bury documents and shut down the claims. But this legal war is far from over. The constant legal motions and the fight over what stays in court shows just how serious this is. Taylor's team seems to be playing smart, releasing key info slowly while Blake tries to cover it up.
Taylor Swift, one of the most litigious people in the world, is not coming forward to deny any of this. Typically, when her friends, women under fire, are put in the spotlight like this, she is very quick to go after and declare and have her team shut up everybody.
Taylor Swift's side seems focused on protecting her legacy without rushing to speak. On the other hand, Blake's denials and moves to block evidence make things look worse. Taylor has shown in court she won't back down, and Blake's attempt to silence her has only caused more damage. If this isn't one of the most dramatic court takedowns in years, what is?
This is so many layers of the legalities, the crimes that would be committed if this actually happened is outrageous. So of course they're coming out there with this.
Blake Lively faced a brutal takedown by someone she once called her closest friend in court. But to be honest, can you really fault Taylor for her actions?
Where in the world is the denial? None. It would be all that you would see.
Blake didn't hold back. She blackmailed Taylor using their private texts. Honestly, it's hard to think of anything lower than that kind of betrayal.
It's confirmation until it isn't. I believe it 100%. It had to come from Taylor. It had to come from her team.
The accusations are intense. Blake's legal team allegedly pressured Taylor to support her Super Bowl absence or risk having 10 years of texts exposed. That's not just scandal. It's blackmail, pure and simple. No wonder this has exploded into a court battle, catching everyone's attention.